shortly. We also have some goodness, if you will, for this show coming up later. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of a surprise for you. A little TBT for this Thursday. You nervous?
Yeah, because a surprise. You said it's going to be a surprise.
He looking around like something going to drop out the sky.
Yeah, man.
It's all for
it's
good.
All you.
Yes, good fun for you.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That
I'm
means
ready.
you all need to stick around.
Let's
We'll
do
get to
it.
that in a moment. That's what you call a TV tease. Some news for tonight's game, however. The Lakers announced that Anthony Davis will miss tonight's game with a right quad contusion. AD scored 23 points last night against Philly. This will be the third game that AD has missed on the season. In last night's loss, Anthony Davis and LeBron did most of the heavy lifting. They combined for 57 points, shot 51% from the field. The rest of the team struggled a bit. After the game, LBJ discussed what could have been better.
No, we had cut it to 2, and we missed 3 shots. Mark had an in and out. Kenny had one, that went in and out. I had a short baseline jumper that I missed, and I think me and Bron missed 4 straight free throws down the stretch. I was terrible from the line tonight, 5 for 10. And so, I mean, that's really it. I mean, Joel got to the line early in the first quarter. We gave him a 34-point quarter, first quarter, and kind of, slowed him down a little bit, for the next 3. But they had 21 points in a fast break category. And but other than that, I think for the most part, the game was pretty even. And, we gave ourselves a chance to win the game. Just needed one stop, Tobias made a tough shot, and the team is 9-1 at home, undefeated when Joel plays. So it was a good matchup for us, and a game we feel like we could have won.
Up until that final run there, the shot going down. That's happened a couple times on this trip. Have you seen anything different, or is it sort of make-miss in the way that you guys are getting shots and then converting?
I think we got some great looks. We play the same way every game. It's not like we change our approach, and our shooters kind of struggle tonight, obviously. We need, to open up the perimeter a lot more, but we got some great shots, and we just didn't make them.
All right, guys, before we get to tonight, let's talk a little last night. We talked about it on the postgame show. Rob, you watched the game. Did we get a little finals preview? I know it's a little early.
It's a little early, but, if you look at the way these guys are playing and the way Danny Green played, like them hips weren't hurting this game, you know what I mean? And Embiid is an MVP caliber player, and he's playing at such a high level, and the way these guys get up and down the floor, and we're not going to talk about the guy who made the game-winning shot, Tobias Harris, but they have a really good team. I think they're going to be coached very well, and it might be, but, the game this weekend also might be a finals preview, so we have to sit and wait. It's going to be interesting.
It's easy for us to get caught up in the players, but you mentioned in the pregame big game, I mean, you add Doc Rivers then to that whole roster that they put together with championship experience, and we saw it on full display last night.
Yeah, you always wonder, when a team has as much talent as they've had. Some players have gone elsewhere, but they've always had some really good talent. You wonder why they just can't get over the hump. You bring in, a coach that's been there before, that's won a championship. And you also have guys that have matured a little bit. I mean, if Embiid stays healthy and continues in this way, they're going to be trouble. He is a bona fide scorer. He's hard to deal with. He's strong. He can shoot the 3. And then the surrounding players. I mean, Simmons is 6'10". I mean, nobody really knows his defensive. He's a great defensive player. Tobias is a scorer. I knew they were going to go to him. So yeah, this could be a prelude. It's kind of early, but they're definitely in the mix when you think about Brooklyn and Milwaukee. Philadelphia definitely wants to be in that hunt.
They're right at the top of the East. AD, speaking of tonight, he's getting the night off. His last 9 games, guys, shooting just 19% from 3. Rob, okay to take a night off in the midst of this road trip?
I think so, because you have a team in the Detroit Pistons that is not that good. So if you want to take an opportunity to rest, this would be a good opportunity. And plus, AD is like one of these guys that bangs a lot. And so and to me, I can tell when he's hurting because he kind of drifts to the outside and he stays away from the inside. Because when you're banged up, if you go inside, that's when you get banged up even more. So I feel like it was kind of a telling tale where his jumper's going, where his free throws are going, that his body kind of needed a little rest.
In big game, you don't want to take any team in the NBA for granted, but as Rob mentioned, the Pistons with just 4 wins, you think you rest AD tonight, that's 2 full days of rest before you go into Boston and face the Celtics on Saturday. And the Lakers made it very clear they would manage the minutes of their 2 stars and be patient with it.
Yeah, sometimes who you play, works right into the formula you need to use on a road trip, or if you need to rest a player. This is perfect for AD. He's tried his best, with the exception of the games he has missed. They've tried to lower their minutes, but sometimes a player like him needs the rest. Rob mentioned he takes a lot of punishment down there in the paint. So yeah, this is a good time for him to take one.
So Anthony Davis out tonight with a quad contusion. Leads us into a little Axis 360 brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Good times.
Good times.
Rob, Lakers had some good and some bad down the stretch. We're going to focus on the good 13-0 run to get themselves back into it. Here goes the elevator.
Rob has to go down. He has to go down on the elevator to get to the wall.
You got to go to Rob's wall right here, baby. Even though they lost this game, you have some good moments in the game. Right here, you see defense, they D'ing up. And this is down the stretch when you have to play good team. Look at AD. Position right in, you get a help from Caruso, get a little hand in that, and they're off to the races. Here, you got to give it to AD. Nope, you're going to give it to Caruso because everybody think you can go to AD. They box him out, no box out right there. He flips it over to LeBron. This is the best pass that he might not get credit for. Over to the best shooting 3-point guy in the land right there, Caruso, for 3 points. That's what you want to do. Good defense down there. Now here's a position for good offense right here. LeBron just waiting. Look at the coach mad because he thought he carried, but LeBron picked it up. Now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys watching AD shoot, but nobody's boxing out. What do you have to do, James, in the games? You have to box out. The shortest man on the court goes in and tips it out. You can't have that happen. Now you get out here, you're going to pass around. Look, this guy made a 3 all game, but when it's time to step up, Dennis the Menace steps up and knocks down the 3. You got to have that here on the inbound play. This is probably the best play of the night. After the timeout, you cannot draw it up any better than this. Look at LeBron, one of the best passers in the game, has it. He's waiting. This is the thing, everybody's spaced out. You got to have spacing in this game. Great pick by Dennis. Look at the curl by AD. Going to the hole. Only thing would have been better than that finger roll if he would have what, James? Stuck it. You got to stick it and make it. You got to put some emphasis on this. So right there down the stretch, you showed a championship caliber team. They took over when they needed to do, and they had some good moments. They just couldn't finish down the stretch when they shouldn't have switched that pick and roll at the end of the game.
The fact that you go all the way back down is hilarious.
The elevator.
Your energy is what we talked about with the Lakers to get back in the game last night. Big game because Geet talked. It just seemed like they were fighting uphill until they were able to muster up that energy late. They could have still won.
Yeah. They almost won the game. And I think that, there's no excuse for losing, but Rob can attest. Sometimes you're in the middle of that road trip. We talked about this last night. It's game 4. Sometimes you just sluggish. You're traveling. You're in a hotel. You can't go for a walk. So sometimes you have to overcome that, and sometimes it shows up in a game sometimes. But I thought their fight to get back, especially Caruso, Schroeder down the stretch, some of the plays that they made to prolong the game and keep them right there was nice to see. So get a little rest, snap back. They don't want to lose 2 in a row. It's a tough road trip. Rob said it's a long one.
Long. Think about this. I think a lot of people understand they're on a game. They're on the road for 8 games. Yeah. And they're in the middle.
Days.
And they're playing a really good team who wants to play them. So it's hard. You got to be mentally prepared.
Their star.
Yeah, they got to be mentally prepared. So I'm proud of the way they perform.
All right, it's time to get you to Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, who joins us from down the hall. Lakers lost their first road game of the season. Mike, playing Detroit tonight, Lakers have lost 4 in a row in the Motor City.
Yeah, interesting one there, isn't that, Ellie? And the thing about this one, with no Anthony Davis, so on the one hand, it's not ideal, just in the sense that they can't play their best lineups, which they didn't really get to until late in the game in the fourth quarter against Philly, which you guys just described. But it does give Frank Vogel the chance to extend the minutes for guys who have not been able to play enough because they're so deep on the bench. So this is kind of the tug of war that they've been having to go through, and just getting the roster ready, getting the lineups in accordance with each other as they go through the regular season, as opposed to just game planning to win one game. And so for tonight, let's start there with Frank Vogel as to what they can do without Anthony Davis.
He's got a quad contusion. that had some swelling, and with a back-to-back, we decided to hold them out.
Guys, so you've used Morris in the starting lineup, but then get Chicago, and then Kuz played the first game without him. How do you see just filling into that spot, Frank, and what's most important when AD doesn't play for the guys to collectively step up and do?
Well, everybody's got to play their game. We're not. These guys can't come in and try to be Anthony Davis. They just got to impact the game the way they're capable of. Whoever fills in, we're going to start Kuz tonight. But everybody, there's a lot of minutes there to go around. We'll see Taylor Horton-Tucker more in the lineup, and obviously Keith and Wes and those guys will get more run as well. So, but Kuz will get the start, and look forward to seeing what he can do.
Frank, back-to-backs, the second game of back-to-backs seemed to be a point of pride last year. I think you guys went 8-0 in those games before the bubble started. Just wondering what that is from a mentality standpoint, and how much LeBron, who kind of seemed to take that even personally to an extent, matters in situations like that.
Yeah, he's always taken pride in that throughout his career. Just bring that extra energy on the second night. And, I think our guys follow suit. We have a lot of the younger players that I think will benefit from some added minutes with Anthony being out, and hopefully our group is mad enough about last night's loss that we bring the necessary energy to get a W tonight.
Looking for a little more information on AD and the nature of that injury. Was that something that he suffered last night? And then as a follow-up, he's only played one of your 4 back-to-backs in both games, and I'm wondering, has that been a part of a longer-term strategy, or has it just so happened that he just hasn't been available for those particular games?
Yeah, not part of the long-term strategy. He just got dinged up, around those games. And this happened, I believe, in the first quarter. I'm not sure exactly what play, but he came, he was hobbling for a few possessions. Felt like he banged it. And then just played through the pain the rest of the night. And, obviously swelled up a little bit and had some discomfort this morning. So we decided to hold him out.
Okay, guys, there's Frank Vogel. So you heard it, Kyle Kuzma in the starting lineup in his hometown of Detroit, or at least just outside of Detroit where he's from, Flint. And then expect to see that 10-man rotation, Allie, with the second unit. You mentioned THT. You get some more minutes for Morris, some more for Caruso. A little bit more for everybody as they try to collectively round around AD here.
You get time. You get time. You get time. Love it. Kuz getting started back in his hometown. Well done, as always. Thanks, Mike Trudell. The Lakers have missed it to renew their rivalry at 5 o'clock. James. There's one of our former Lakers, Spee for 3, remember?
Yeah,
Spee Mykhailiuk.
I liked him.
He's still in the league.
He's had some shooting struggles this season. He's making just 32% from deep this year. And coming up on Access, coming off their first road loss of the season, our Lakers insider Mike Bresnahan is here to discuss what the Lakers need to do to bounce back in Detroit.
You don't get a block.